So when people call the flagrant on Cunningham an overreaction, that's not really what happened here. The league finally caught up to a pattern that's been building for over a year across two different teams against her own teammates and her opponents alike. And the wildest part is the ejection wasn't even the worst thing Carrington did that night. What she posted online minutes later turned a basketball foul into something a lot bigger. Fans figured Carrington would at least stay quiet after getting tossed. Maybe apologize later. Maybe just let the flagrant speak for itself. Instead, from the locker room, still in the middle of the game, she posted white privilege on Threads and tagged the Fever's own account directly. Then on Twitter, she followed it up with August 23rd, the date of the next matchup between the Sky and
Sophie Cunningham said what she said. Quote, "I said what I said, and these ladies in the WNBA, if I can call them that, I don't know what they all identify as, but these ladies in the WNBA, it's open season on her head." The spread was instant. Basketball media accounts picked it up within minutes. Fan pages reposted it, and the August 23rd post especially got read by a lot of people as something closer to a threat than a schedule reminder. This wasn't some slow burn story that built over a day. It caught fire while the game clock was still running. Neutral fans, people with no particular loyalty to the Fever or the Sky, reacted almost the same way. A dangerous foul just happened on national television, and instead of owning it, Carrington reached for a racial argument that had nothing to do with the play itself. A lot of people pointed out that Cunningham got ejected for something similar the year before and never played any card at all. She just accepted the ejection. She's probably the only one that walks into that building knowing this might get left and up to and leave it up to DJ and Carrington. Yeah, it went left. Now, compare that to how Caitlin Clark handled her own controversy in the very same game. In the third quarter, Clark drove to the basket, got bumped off balance by Natasha Cloud, stumbled out of bounds, and brushed into referee Genesis Perrymont while trying to catch herself. The official called a technical foul, claiming Clark had intentionally C'd out the official and used a forearm, which is not close to what actually happened on the replay. Clark threw her hands up and said, "For what?" Because there was nothing intentional about falling out of bounds after getting hit by a defender. Was frustrated that she did not have a foul called on the defender. That tech was one of the worst calls of the season, and Coach Stephanie White said so without holding back afterward. She got her own technical for yelling, "That's bullshit," and later joked in the press conference that she'd heard the F word all game long from everyone else, but her tech was the one that mattered. White called the whole situation what it was, a bad call made on a player who lost her balance from contact she didn't start. Here's where the league's response gets interesting. The Fever's front office appealed the call almost immediately, and within 2 hours and 20 minutes of the final buzzer, the WNBA rescinded Clark's technical completely. Clark had actually told ESPN's Holly Wright after the game, "I'll see you on Tuesday," like she already knew the league would fix it. So think about the timeline here. A questionable technical on Clark gets reviewed and reversed in about 2 hours. Meanwhile, Carrington's post, which is a lot more serious since it drags race into a dangerous on-court incident, just sits out there unrest, spreading across the internet with no real response from the Sky. Coach Tyler Marsh got asked about it after the game and said he was just now hearing about that and had nothing else to add. That gap, quick justice for Clark, silence for Carrington, is exactly what turned one flagrant foul into a story that wouldn't die down. And it's also exactly the kind of gap that makes suspensions happen. So with all that noise going on, the ejection, the posts, the technical foul drama, what was actually happening on the scoreboard? Turns out the Fever were just quietly taking over the game the entire time. The second half for them. Sheldon staying on the floor. Clark a deep one. Wow. Clark able to bury the bomb away. Clark a deep launch. Too much on and no. The bank is open in the friendly confines of United Center for Caitlin Clark. Clark finished with 26 points and 11 assists, shooting 7 of 15 from the field and knocking down 5 of her 6 three-point attempts. That combination, 25 or more points paired with 10 or more assists, is rare for a reason. It means you're scoring at a high level and setting up your teammates at the same time, not just padding one stat at the expense of the other. This is her 8th career game hitting that mark. And here's the part that's actually hard to believe. The rest of WNBA history combined has only 4 games like it. Not 4 players, 4 games total from every other player who's ever stepped on a WNBA court. Clark's already passed that number twice over on her own. Mitchell gets in. She can just feel that Timpson is there. How about that left hand over the shoulder pass? She doesn't even look. She just feels that her teammate is there. Spectacular. Michaela Timpson, making just her second career start after getting the nod over Monique Billings, added 10 points on 5 of 7 shooting with 3 rebounds and 3 assists in 31 minutes. The new starting lineup was a plus 16 before halftime, which tells you Timpson wasn't just filling a role. She was actively helping the group win minutes. Indiana shot 51% from the field for the game and controlled tempo the way a veteran team does. Not a team that just watched one of its own get hit across the face. Chicago shot 46% and actually matched Indiana's three-point percentage at 41%. But the turnovers and the emotional swings kept them from ever fully seizing control, even when they cut the lead to 66-59 in the third on a 9-0 run.
That's not luck. And it's not a team that got rattled by chaos. That's a roster that's built to handle it. Sophie Cunningham just got hit across the face on national television. So, what does she actually say when the cameras finally turn on her? Not a rant, not a call-out, nothing close to what Carrington posted online. She sat down at that podium calm, almost bored by the whole thing. And that's exactly what made her answer land so hard. Reporters walked into that press conference already knowing about the white privilege post, waiting to see if Cunningham would take the bait or shut it down. She didn't hesitate. She called the foul unnecessary and intentional, then added, "I've never really spoken to her and have no beef with her, but I guess she has some pent-up stuff, so get your exploitive off. That's fine. I can take it." No yelling, no finger-pointing, just a flat statement of fact from someone who'd clearly already moved on before the question finished.
Then she went straight at the race act, since the criteria for unnecessary and excessive contact on a vulnerable player were already met on the court. Reporters covering the team, including Scott Agnes of Fieldhouse Files, pointed straight at what came after the ejection. "I think they've got to consider what she did afterward. She went back to the locker room, presumably, and got on social media."
No statement followed from the Sky organization at all. Compare that silence to Indiana's locker room. Confident, already talking about the next game, already moving forward with a signature win despite getting physically attacked on their own fast break. Carrington sitting there waiting on a league decision. And the Fever already have their story written. Indiana won the game 90-86. And Indiana won the other fight too, the one that actually mattered more. Carrington threw the punch, threw the tantrum online, and Cunningham answered with a shrug that said more than any rant could. Clark, Mitchell, and Boston just proved they can play through an ejection, a bad tech, and a social media firestorm, and still put up a signature win. Picture that core in the 2026 playoffs with this kind of poise already built in. Keep backing Clark, keep backing Sophie, keep backing this Fever team, and keep calling out every cheap shot thrown their way.